When we think about energy management, we usually picture these giant corporations, right? But what if a local bakery could seriously slash its costs and its carbon footprint just by paying a little closer attention? Well, today, we're going to unpack the story of one business that did exactly that. And trust me, the lessons they learned are pretty powerful.
So it all kicked off with a problem that I'm sure a lot of business owners can relate to. Their energy use was just creeping up month after month. It wasn't some sudden massive spike that would set off alarm bells, but more of this slow, invisible drain on their profits. They knew something was up, but they just couldn't put their finger on it.
And that, of course, led to the big question, the one that started this whole journey. Where was all that energy actually going? It's one thing to get a higher bill, totally different challenge to figure out why. They basically had a mystery on their hands that needed solving. To solve it, they had to become like energy detectives. This whole first phase was about the investigation, gathering clues, following the data, and hunting down these hidden energy hogs that were lurking somewhere in their bakery. Okay, and this is where they started getting really smart about it. Before they could measure a single thing, they had to define their battlefield. Basically, what could they actually control? The baking, the refrigeration, the lights on the shop floor. Yep, absolutely. But stuff like the third-party delivery trucks, their employees' commutes, nope, that was out of scope. And that focus was absolutely crucial, so they didn't waste time on things they couldn't change.
And almost right away, the data gave them their first huge lead. Get this, a full 50%, half of their total energy consumption was coming from just two places, the ovens and the refrigeration units. Right then and there, they knew exactly where to focus to get the biggest bang for their buck.
So, digging in a little deeper, they mapped out all their significant energy uses, or SEUs. And yeah, the ovens were the clear monster here at almost 33%. But look at the medium guys too, like the proofers and display cabinets. They were still pulling a pretty big chunk of power. Getting this kind of detailed view was the absolute key to figuring out what to do next. All right, investigation complete. It was time to switch gears from just looking at data to taking action. This is the part where they turned all those insights into a real, concrete plan to go after those energy hogs they'd finally found.
And here is probably the biggest lesson from their whole story. You cannot manage what you do not measure. They realized they had these massive blind spots, no real-time data for their biggest energy users. So the fix was to install sub-meters on all the major equipment. This gave them a precise minute-by-minute dashboard of what was going on. It was a total game changer, like going from flying blind to suddenly having perfect visibility.
Okay, so next, with all this new data flowing in, they set some strict rules for their equipment. No more just kind of guessing at the oven temperature or leaving the AC on whatever felt good. They set firm, optimized targets for everything. A simple step, right? But it not only saves energy, it also guarantees their products are high quality and consistent every single time. And this brings us to another key lesson, the power of prevention. They made a super simple proactive maintenance schedule. Things like weekly checks on oven door seals to stop heat from leaking out, monthly cleanings of condenser coils so the fridges don't have to work so hard. It's these small, consistent actions that stop tiny problems from snowballing into huge energy-wasting disasters. All right, so they did all the detective work, they made a plan, they followed it, but did it actually work? Let's take a look at the results of their war on waste. And the results were, well, they were fantastic. Just by improving the seals on the oven doors, they saved a staggering 8,700 kilowatt hours. But the small wins were just as crucial. Fixing a timer here, using night covers there, it all added up, proving that every little bit really does count. So what was the grand total? All those little and big actions combined saved a massive 12,800 kilowatt hours of energy. For a local business, that is a huge chunk of change that goes right back into their pockets instead of to the power company. And the impact here goes way beyond just the money. Those energy savings translate to a reduction of almost 7 metric tons of CO2 emissions. It's just a perfect example of how a smart business decision can also be a really great decision for the planet. All in all, this represents a 12.8% total gain in efficiency compared to the year before. I mean, that is a seriously significant improvement, and it's all thanks to their focused, data-driven approach. But, the real win here isn't just saving money one time. It's about embedding this new, efficient way of thinking into the culture of the business to future-proof their success for years and years to come. And this really shows us their final key lesson. They're building this new culture on two main pillars. On one side, you have smarter technology, making sure any new equipment they buy is super high efficiency. And on the other side, you have empowered people, training everyone from the top down to be on the lookout for energy waste. Real, lasting change comes from combining better tech with a smarter team.
And they're not even stopping there. Because this is a continuous process now, they've already set new, ambitious targets for the future. They're trying to cut another 20% from lighting, 15% from the ovens, you get the idea. This isn't about a project being done. It's about a permanent mission to always get better.
This bakery story is an awesome case study for sure, but it's more than that. It's a model. It kind of makes you wonder, right? What if every small business on every main street could follow this same blueprint? Imagine turning all that hidden energy waste into visible profit and a healthier planet for all of us.